Okay, I'm hanging out here with Tony, and I'm in Coruscant, and you're in NASA's headquarters trying to get off Earth and come here to Coruscant. Is that right, Tony?
I got to get there, man. This place is crazy right now.
It's pretty crazy. And the why we're talking about this today is we both stream quite a bit of Marvel Strike Force on Twitch, and there is a ton of new players coming into the game. And I got to tell you, I'm getting the same question about 4 or 5 times an hour. Is like, what teams to farm first? What do I do? We're talking about people that just started the game. And I'm seeing the same 5 or 6 questions so many times, and we're going to go over that. And the reason why I'm going to go over that is because we're both in-game players, but you recently opened up a free-to-play account, and you started making videos of free-to-play accounts, right?
Oh, absolutely. I was tired of being happy, so I decided to spend more time playing this game.
And so I'm going to link down in the description to Tony's channel, and you can go and watch some of his videos because we both started with the game very early. I'm kind of lost on some of this stuff because like some of the stuff changes early game, and the way that I did my early game is a little bit different than the current recommendations, but we're both doing great. And I just wanted to mention something real quick. I'm here in Coruscant. You should definitely come to Coruscant. You know why?
Why?
Because Palpatine's doing a great job. Have you heard? He was like the first person to get on the top of the quarantine, and he found out that the Jedis, these world travelers, were the biggest spreaders. He got rid of those guys. And then he also discovered that it was like the younglings were the ones that were getting the virus, and they were spreading it, but they were immune. He got rid of those guys. And you know what else I got to say? If I was going to give him a rating from 1 to 10, he's definitely doing a 6.6. He's doing a good job, right? I'm very happy here at Coruscant. So come on, get off of Earth there with NASA and come visit us. First things first. What's this say? Everybody says what teams to go first. Guardians. This game is about legendary characters, and I'm going to say you were the one that really brought this to the forefront because originally the suggestions for a lot of people new in the game were to go defenders. That's not great now. Oh, kitty cat's in the background. But right now, the best character to go for first is Star-Lord, and pretty much you can use Guardians to get Star-Lord. So there's 5 Guardians in the game. And so talk me through that. And we'll also talk about the Ravagers because you can use Ravagers as well, right?
Sure. Well, in the game, you can obviously start with pretty much a couple of different options. But since this game is so strong and so focused on your ability to unlock legendaries and using legendaries to progress through different stages, Star-Lord is one of the best legendaries in the game, and it's easy to get him first. Right. So if you spend any time at the beginning of the game working towards the goal, you're never more than 30 days away from the next attempt at Star-Lord. Okay. So worst case scenario, it's going to take you 90 days away. Yeah, 90 days. Let's say they're no more than 90 days for a Star-Lord Legendary event. The next Star-Lord event. So if you go really hard on unlocking Star-Lord, you're going to have a great time progressing at every stage of the game and farming for more legendaries as you go.
Okay, so 5-star Guardians, Rocket, Drax, Groot, Mantis, Gamora, or you could use Ravagers, but I'm just going to put this out here. The only Ravager I would recommend is Yondu. You can do the other 3 if you want to, but they're not going to be great long term. But the Guardians are going to be good all the way to endgame. We're both endgame players, and I use Guardians like every day for something, right? They're great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So talk to me about the next thing, maybe the next way to go, because there's a couple different paths that you can take after that. We'll talk about shield minions. I think we should talk about Sinister Six, and I think we should talk about Minerva and Ultron briefly. Go!
Okay, so quickly, the shield minions are a great team. They're great at beating up the defenders, which is the early game team a lot of people start with. There's also a little bit of a conversation about the Spider-Verse characters now, but that's maybe a little too much. And the Sinister Six team, also really good at beating up defenders, but usable to unlock 2 different legendaries.
Right.
And the legendaries are pretty good in end game status, and they're really good to help you unlock the hardest game modes in the game. Right. Dark Dimension 2.
Right. So check this. These 5 characters, these 5 Sinister Sticks right here, can be used to unlock 2 legendary characters. This game is all about legendary characters, but they'll help you get Shuri, and they'll also help you get Invisible Woman. This is great. But get Star-Lord first. Or, seriously, go for Star-Lord. It'll be so much better. But if you want to start thinking about other stuff, because we're going to talk about the importance in getting into a good alliance and blitzing and how that works and saving your gold and what to send cores on. But, as far as character development go, that's really great. And then we have to talk about shield minions. And why do you want the shield minions?
Well, the shield minions are two things. First of all, they're a global team that you can use to beat up early on defenders or to do any nodes that require global characters. The second is, as you get access to a character, Nick Fury, they become a completed team, a phenomenal raid team, and eventually will progress to be a good two-side war team, both offense and defense. So anytime farming their shards will definitely help you. Also, early game, if you use the shield minions, you get to unlock Iron Man. Not a phenomenal legendary, but definitely powerful enough in the early game to help you progress, and late game part of a really good war team.
Okay. So when you get to level 20, you get to go into a guild, and you're going to be put into, like, automatically put into guild. You're like going to be put into a starter guild. So the thing is you need to get into a guild that raids and is on the similar level of activity level. And when you're getting through the tickets of the day, if you're coming from other Hero Collector games, you understand the importance of having active players. You don't want to be in a dead guild where people aren't playing, and it's only 24 people. Now, I'm going to suggest if you're coming from another game, make a guild with your friends. It's 24 people, or go to the Discord server right here. That's like the main Discord server, the guys that run the Reddit page, like 42,000 people inside this server. There's tons of places. What are your thoughts about guilds and the raid system and getting those ability materials?
So I think you always want to match yourself. You want to find people that play to your level and whatever you intend on doing. I also think it's important that you don't try to be the best person in your guild or the
right in the middle.
Person
right in the middle.
Guild. You want to be right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
This way you can track the growth, and you can always kind of be reaching for the next. I think if you're the top of your guild, the top power, top progress, you probably need a different guild. And if you're at the bottom of the guild, they're probably thinking you need a different guild.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, unless they don't mind carrying you, but really you should be right in the middle. And, you know, right where, so you're not holding anybody back, you're doing your part, because that's where you're going to get the ability materials to upgrade the character abilities, and it's a daily thing. And so the best way to find a guild, because you're going to get put into like a starter guild, may not be organized, may not be the right people, but you need to be on an organized guild. And if you don't have access to that, go to the Discord server. The link is in the description, and there's tons of recruitment places in there. You'll find somebody that's like-minded, and don't be afraid to jump around. If you're going to move guilds, do it on Sunday, though. That's another story. But anyways.
Oh, also, just to note, like, as far as joining a guild goes, you can pretty much just jump in on one that you think is active and leave whenever you want. Mm-hmm. But it's really important to make sure that you're constantly progressing. That's the key. As long as you're doing your dailies with a bunch of other people doing their dailies, you should have no problems. Okay.
And then let's talk about what to spend cores on. Now, this is a question that I got on Twitch a minute ago, and the answer to me was very similar, and we had the same thoughts. What to spend these cores on. You can see my account right here. I have 16 cores. I tell you what I buy. I buy the energy refreshes, and I think it's a no-brainer to do the 50s. And I go up to the 100s, and you can see right here today, I made it to the 200s, and then I stopped. But I'm a dolphin, if you will. But I think for most people, they're just going to at least do the 50s, right? That's where you get your characters from.
Oh, I mean, you need to do 600 energy a day to be part of an active alliance.
Yes.
So as far as I'm concerned, the only good value in the game for cores.
Yes.
Is energy refresh. Everything else,
not so
you're
great.
You're rolling the dice. You're rolling the dice on whether or not, at least when you spend cores on energy, even if you don't get lucky drops, you're still getting experience, energy, gold, things that are very important.
Okay, we're going right to gold. Gold in this game is way more valuable than some of the other games I play. Explain the value of gold and knowing when to put it into a character or when not to put it into a character. I mean, just in general, just do the Guardians. I mean, that's what I want to just tell people. Just put gold into Guardians, because this gold is valuable, right?
So gold is the perennial bottleneck in the game. Mm-hmm. Every aspect of this game starts and finishes with gold. You can buy gear with gold. Everything you do to a character probably will take gold at one point or another. So it is a very limited resource because it's the bottleneck for all other resources.
Right, which is different from other games. I just want to stress how important gold is. Gold is very important.
So when you work on characters, it's tempting, especially in a new game, to say, "Hey, I just got a new character. Let me bring them up a level." The problem is that's technically a wasted investment, especially in the early game when you should always have a focus. Me, I like to focus 5. I put 5 characters at the top of my roster and I work on them. If I want to work on a 6th, I remove one, and it's all towards growth.
And we talked a little bit.
Just don't have enough materials.
Yeah, we talked about this before the video. I'm only working on 4 characters, and I know you personally working on 3 characters. 5 is actually pretty ambitious, but that's really it, right? To just focus on a no limited number. I'm working on 4, and you're working on 3. It's fine.
What you define as working on. You know, like you may be farming character shards, you may be farming gear for a character, you may be putting gold into their level. So I say when you get more than 5 characters, you're kind of pulling yourself too thin. You don't have enough energy. You don't have enough, and whether you're free to play or spending money, there's just so much, and you don't want to be pulled into 5 different directions or more. And all of a sudden wonder why you're not progressing. You know?
And then lastly,
it's a marathon, not a race.
Yeah, and lastly, there are some subtle differences in the mechanics in this game which we are not going to go into because you will learn them very quickly in a very different Blitz mode or a mode that a lot of people are not familiar with. Explain Blitz and why it's important.
So most Hero Collector games have something called a tower where you complete certain tasks that become more and more difficult as you progress to the top. This game has an infinite tower mode where you complete different tiers until you get to the top, but you're not done when you do the last fight. You can technically fight forever. Technically, because there is cooldowns. But because of that, Blitz really is a great way for you to learn your characters. You can learn a little bit about the opponents and how they fight.
It's a great place to learn mechanics. You can play it for a long time. You get great rewards. And for the first 30 days, you're in like a special Blitz thing. And then which is great. After the 30 days, you're kind of thrown to the wolves. But then you just focus on milestones, right? I mean, it's where you learn the game. You really learn the game in Blitz.
It's also the primary release structure for characters. So the better you get at Blitz early, the better you're going to be at unlocking characters that otherwise you'd have to spend money or wait a couple of months for them to become farmable.
Yeah. So Blitz, it's important, and especially in the first 30 days, you can do that. So that's about it for this video. To recap, Guardians, get your Star-Lord, get into a good guild, only spend cores on refreshes, gold is very important, and blitz, right? It's really simple. That's what you got to do in the first month of this game, basically, and that's it. And head over to Tony's channel, because like I said, you just started a whole series with a new account, right? Why?
Oh, why? Yeah, I did. I just started... No, nothing. I just started a free-to-play account trying to prove a lot of the things I've been saying, which is you can focus farm the defenders, you can set reasonable goals, and by 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, you will start seeing growth and progress. I'm 1 month into the account right now. I'm exactly where I expected I would be and a little bit further ahead because sometimes the game just gives you good luck.
Right, and we didn't talk about it, but the reason why Star-Lord is really important is because eventually you're randomly going to unlock Minerva. And then if you get Star-Lord and Minerva and Groot and plus 2 other characters, you can go into something called Dark Dimension 2 with Gear 13 characters, and you can get the best or second best character in the game, and you will destroy all of your opponents in the arena for 6 months if you can get him first. If you can get him first. Easily. Like, and what's your fast track for Ultron? What do you think you're going to get? How long do you think before you get Ultron? I know that's what you're doing, is you're racing to get Ultron. Don't tell me that's what you're doing in that account. You're really trying to get Ultron as fast.
Theoretically, I believe you can get Ultron without spending a red cent. I believe you can get Ultron in 7 months. If you target farm. If you spend money, you might even be able to do it in less.
That sounds like a long time, but you need to understand how much better Ultron is than every other character in the game, other than Phoenix, Dark Phoenix. But it doesn't matter. It's just so good.
Well, we just said 7 months. If you don't bear down and focus on this, it will take you over a year.
Yeah, it's something. It's quite a process. Actually, it was one of my favorite things to do in this game, the process of unlocking Ultron. That's not for this video, but please understand that's why we're pushing you towards Guardians, is because it is the path to Ultron, and Ultron is amazing. So that's all for today. Anything you want to say before we go?
Not at all.
All right, guys. Head over to Tony's channel, and as always, thanks for watching, and keep on gaming. Bye!